Another month has come and gone, and the first month of the college basketball season is now in the books, making this the perfect time to put out the next edition of the monthly mock drafts that we'd publish here on this channel. Over the last month, we got to see our first taste of basketball at the next level for many of these top prospects, and in some cases they've been looking as advertised, but in other instances they've been falling a bit short. This is why it's so important to monitor the progress of these players all the way through the season, because along with the expected studs, we also get new faces emerging out of nowhere. Additionally, the order that the teams are selecting in today's video is based on the current NBA standings. Before we start though, I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, PrizePicks. As the new NBA season continues on, PrizePicks is the best and easiest way to play daily fantasy to stay engaged on all of the excitement. All you have to do is pick between 2 and 6 players and the over or under on their projections, and you can win up to 20 times your original entry. You can even make mixed sports entries, so if you happen to be a fan of football, baseball, soccer, or anything else, PrizePicks has you covered. When you play at PrizePicks, you're also not competing against anyone else, it's simply you versus the projections available. This week, PrizePicks is giving you a special free square by setting Justin Herbert's passing yards to 0.5, so if he throws just for 1 yard, you win, making it as close to free as it gets. I'll be taking that square this week, along with LeBron James, to make over 2.5 threes, hoping for an easy cash. By going down to the link in the description of this video and using promo code REFERENCE when you sign up, you also get a deposit match bonus of up to $100. Once again, thank you to PrizePicks for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get back to the topic at hand. Starting with the first pick in the draft, the Orlando Magic select Victor Wembanyama from France. We saw our first look at Wembanyama this summer on American soil when he played a few scrimmages against the G League Ignite program, where he absolutely stole the show, and since then, he has continued to be nothing short of phenomenal. The guy, quite simply, is something we've never seen before, because at 7 foot 4 inches tall, he's more nimble and fluid than anyone we've seen at that size. He comfortably creates offense for himself off the dribble, he's a reliable perimeter shooter, and defensively, his shot blocking instincts genuinely have the makings of a future Defensive Player of the Year candidate. Funnily enough, the Magic have also gotten themselves Bol to emerge on their team, so if they're able to land Wembanyama to add to that, they could build one of the longest and most unique front courts the league has ever seen. Next, with the second pick, the Detroit Pistons select Scoot Henderson from the G League Ignite program. The Pistons will definitely be hoping to land the number 1 pick this year because not only is Wembanyama a gem, but he would also fit in better with their current team. However, at 2, they would still go best player available, taking Scoot Henderson despite having drafted Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey in back-to-back years. Henderson would be the best prospect in a lot of prior draft classes, as his explosiveness with the ball in his hands immediately jumps out when you watch him play. He's an aggressive scoring guard with a smooth pull-up jumper in the mid-range, he's continually improving as a playmaker for others, and he's the ultimate competitor with a high motor on both ends of the floor, so in the end, the Pistons would be willing to make it work even with a crowded backcourt. Next up, with the third pick, the San Antonio Spurs select Cason Thompson from Overtime Elite League. This is a draft dominated by athleticism, and Cason Thompson might actually be the best pure athlete in the class. He has explosive bounce, and he combines it with superb balance to remain under control when he attacks the basket and explodes to the rim. At 6'7", he's also someone emerging who can serve as a team's primary ball handler too, and what has separated him in the early going is the fact that his basketball IQ, court vision, and playmaking ability make him as close to a complete player as it gets. The Spurs have 2 young studs in Keldon Johnson and Devin Vassell right now on the wings, so bringing in Thompson to lead that group at point would give the Spurs an incredibly promising trio to build around moving forward. Next, with the fourth pick, the Houston Rockets select Nick Smith Jr. from Auburn. Smith missed the team's first 7 games of the season this year because of some precautions being taken over a knee injury that he had, but in his debut, he looked pretty solid and showed flashes of what could be to come moving forward. He's been viewed as the best NBA prospect playing in college basketball this season for most of the analyzing process so far, so it's tough to judge him based on just one game played to this point, but in that game, he showed off a confidence as a playmaker looking to progress the play quickly and find teammates that cut to the basket. He's always ready to shoot a 3 if he gets an opening, and his intermediate floater game will definitely come with time. The Rockets currently use Kevin Porter Jr. as their point guard, who is probably more of a combo guard by nature, so bringing in a true point guard to run the offense is definitely in their best interest. Next, with the 5th pick, the Charlotte Hornets select Brandon Miller from Alabama. Miller is one of the early risers up draft boards so far in the young season, as the wing from Alabama is lighting opponents up from 3-point range, making 47% of his attempts from deep, he's scoring about 20 points per game, and is locking up on defense. He's 6'9" with a competitive drive that comes out in big moments, and he provides the ideal versatility that NBA teams value in the league today. I like the fit with Charlotte as well, who definitely need wing talent after losing Miles Bridges in the offseason due to some unfortunate circumstances. Up next with the 6th pick, the Orlando Magic, who own the Chicago Bulls pick, select Cam Whitmore from Villanova. Whitmore is like Nick Smith Jr. in that he missed most of the early part of the season with an injury, but he too made his debut this past week, and while he didn't necessarily dominate the game or stuff the stat sheet, he did show off a lot of glimpses of what makes him such an intriguing prospect to scouts. Whitmore is a powerful athlete who will be overbearing for defenders to try to slow down when he gets around the basket, and on top of that, he's a willing and able shot creator from the perimeter, making it even more difficult for defenders to stay in front of him. He also has such impressive defensive instincts for a young player, and with his frame, NBA teams will definitely want to take a swing at his upside. Next up with the 7th pick, the Oklahoma City Thunder select Ausar Thompson from the G League Ignite program. That's right, Amen Thompson has a twin brother who is nearly as good as he is available in the same draft class. Ausar is more of a wing player and isn't the facilitator that his brother is, but besides that, the two are very identical in terms of physical tools, fluidity around the basket, and explosive athleticism. Ausar Thompson will need to improve as a perimeter shooter to solidify himself at the top of this class, but the upside that comes with him is definitely pretty clear. Up next with the 8th pick, the New Orleans Pelicans, who own the Lakers pick, select Cason Wallace from Kentucky. Wallace was hyped up as a two-way combo guard before the season, and at Kentucky so far, he's giving them a little bit of everything en route to living up to the hype. He's averaging nearly 3 steals and 5 assists per game, he's scoring the ball highly efficiently, making 53% of his shots and 50% of his threes, and he's also playing under control, making good decisions, which is a huge plus for his draft status. He may not be a player who will dominate the game by scoring a ton of points and leading the game in that regard, but he's a smart player who makes winning plays across the board, and his impact goes beyond the stat sheet. Next, with the 9th pick, the Washington Wizards select Anthony Black from Arkansas. While Nick Smith Jr. was out, Black was able to step into more of a primary role, and man oh man did he make the most of that opportunity. In the Maui Invitational Tournament, he dropped 26 points back-to-back games, and he too is one of the players soaring up draft boards quickly. He's showing that he can play as a point forward at 6'7", and his aggression attacking the basket and finishing at the rim has truly been top-notch. He's scoring the ball efficiently, he's making plays for those around him, and he has the size and strength that make NBA teams more confident in his play, translating to the next level, so he's definitely one to keep an eye on moving forward, and Arkansas might have the best backcourt in the country right now. And finally, with the 10th pick, the New York Knicks select Gradey Dick from Kansas. Dick has been showing out for Kansas early on this season, and with several of their games coming against other top programs on the big spotlight of national TV, he's been making a name for himself on the big stage. NBA scouts are already imagining him as a plug-and-play wing player who has impressed more than initially advertised, with his athleticism and his shot-making from all 3 levels at an efficient rate, which is most intriguing of all. And with that being said, that's all I have for you today. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below who you're excited about in this next draft class. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.